A couple of 155-pounders making their way into the ring. Cameron Ramirez taking on Joe Tussing, and Ramirez already in the ring. And here comes Joe Tussing to Las Vegas. Now, for Ramirez, he says he's been training 2 years for this night, so he's making his debut. Tussing's coming off a loss back in February, so once again, another great night for these two guys who have little experience. These are the amateurs who want to make a name for themselves.
Well, Joe Tussing is a guy that our friend here, Ken, is very familiar with. He trains over at Striking Unlimited. So how would you describe his style? I mean, is he more of a stand-up or a grappling guy?
He's definitely more of a wrestler, and he's came to us to improve on his striking, get into the MMA game. So he's working on his striking, and we'll see how he does tonight.
I gotcha. And how about, I wonder if Cameron Ramirez, it says freestyle MMA, whether or not he's more of a stand-up guy, because generally, styles make fights. So I guess in order for this to be an exciting fight, we would hope that he's a stand-up guy going up against a wrestler who can impose their will.
Muay Thai fighter who has the nickname The Animal. Let's go put in the ring. Here's Jake Gutierrez.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is in the 155-pound division. Once again, our referee in charge is Jason Trevino. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing the white trunks, and he fights for round one boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Cameron Ramirez. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks, he fights for Striking Unlimited. Please welcome Joe Tussing.
Joe Tussing, Cameron Ramirez getting final instructions. And Ken, once again, Joe, what's his future? What's good about this guy?
You see in his last fight, he did defend a lot of hard submissions, so he definitely has the fighting spirit. He's not going to be a one to tap easily, but he is primarily a wrestler. We'll see how much his stand-up has improved.
All right, he's coming off a loss to Otis Ruiz, we mentioned back in February. Love to get a win, and here we go.
Absolutely. Otis Ruiz, as we all know, for the Tuff-N-Uff fighters, is a very good fighter. He's a veteran of the Mardi Gras ballroom. So here we are with Ramirez, some nice knees, trying to defend the takedown here. Tussing got a body lock and
it's in the guard now.
Works that down to a nice takedown, but falls right into the guard. And as you can see, Ramirez maybe trying to work a high rubber guard or something like that there.
Yeah, he might be working for an arm bar, or
he definitely has his hips in motion. He did for a while there, trying to catch Joe in either
an arm bar, maybe a triangle, set it up, something.
Exactly. Very limber guy. Got a little BJ pin in him with these legs.
Yeah. Well, this is where Joe feels comfortable, in someone's guard.
What kind of an advantage would it be, Ken, in your opinion, to have even one fight under your belt?
So much, because then you can really see how it is. A lot of times people don't realize, even just having to see yourself on video is awakening an experience.
I can imagine that. I mean, even in television, you see yourself on, you get a different idea of how you actually do your job.
99% of the time, it's not what you thought. Unfortunately.
Absolutely. He's working that high guard, and as you said, a triangle. Looks like he's almost setting him up for that triangle if he can get.
Yep, he's posturing up. Joe's posturing up how he should.
You gotta watch out for that. I mean, he's set up for a triangle if he moves that leg. There it is. There it is. He might fall right back into it.
Yeah, he's out of it now.
Beautiful slam by Tussing. Little Rampage Jackson-esque.
Rampage Jackson.
Absolutely.
Coming down to the final 30 seconds of round number one.
Here, I think Joe's just going to do a little ground and pound, soften him up, And this is big for Joe now because he's relaxed. He's in a position where, he's picking the dominant position through the whole round.
Absolutely. He slams his opponent, ends up in the side mount. You have to say that was a dominant round for Joe Tussing in the first round against Cameron.
Looking very solid here at the Orleans tonight. The Orleans Ballroom, Brian Solomon, Ken Hahn, and Chris Matthews bringing you Tuff-N-Uff action. Boy, each and every month when Barry Meyer puts these cards together, he makes them fun, and the people do have a great time here, don't they?
I think so. This is probably one of the best run amateur MMA events.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this Rampage Jackson-esque slam for Joe Tussing, and he gets out of the triangle, ends up in north-south position over into side mount. I mean, he used those slams, 3 of them in the first round.
Now my question is, did he gas himself doing all those?
Yeah, everyone's not as strong as Rampage.
You're in Tussing's corner now, Ken. What would you be telling him?
It's a little winded.
Make sure he's not gassing out. Take some deep breaths. You know, he's got to work the pace.
And Ramirez in the red corner.
Nice demeanor. He looks like he's well rested and ready to go on out there and stand and bang with him. While Joe eludes the left hand, another body lock, going for that same takedown. Looks like he's a little bit stronger than his opponent.
Yeah, it looks like it. Coming from a wrestling background, he does have a lot of experience in wrestling. So we kind of see the same pattern here. Body lock, take him down.
Ends up in half guard. Now he's got him fully mounted.
Full mount now.
Oh, but his nose is bleeding.
And unfortunately, this is an amateur event. This might be enough to stop it because of the amount of blood that's coming out.
That's right. You can't bleed on your opponent in amateur fighting. And it looks like his nose, his lip, I mean, that's a significant amount of blood that's coming out. Our doctor's up there looking at him now.
Hopefully it's just it can be just something that can, you know, you could stick some Vaseline in it or something. It's not something like an eye cut or something. It doesn't look that bad now.
Boy, it was gushing for a second, though.
Exactly.
Wasn't it?
That's the only thing that would worry me. And they're going to check to see if it's the nose or anything. But
and at the same time, they have to clean all the blood off of the fighters. They can't go back out there. It's almost similar to playing like a high school basketball game where you can't have any blood on your person when you're out there playing.
And I wasn't sure how that happened. It could have been while during the takedown, something happened. We'll see. Looks like they're going to let him go. So that's
very
a good.
Sign. But if you are Cameron Ramirez, you got to start eyeing that nose, and your first jab is going straight to that nose, wouldn't it?
Exactly. He's got to take advantage of this. A lot of times you can take someone's confidence totally away if you seize that opportunity.
I mean, how many fighters have you seen that they're completely different fighters once they notice that they have a cut on them or they start bleeding, they go from confident to being, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time.
Well, it gets back to a dominant position, does Tussing.
Let's see how Joe protects.
He's fully mounted, is Ramirez. We'll see how he's controlling his posture pretty well, but just one arm. I mean, would you suggest to Tussing to try to get that elbow to the throat and create some separation so he can rain some punches?
It looks like he's going for a classic Americana.
He's bleeding.
I'm not sure from the mount, or he could just be doing a ground and pound. He's also got to think if he starts bleeding more,
gushing again.
They're gonna stop it. So
the fans don't know the fact that you can't be up there fighting with blood coming out of your nose. I mean, they may think that they're trying to stop the fight because of a cut, but they don't realize that amateur fighting, you can't bleed on your opponent.
And look at all the blood on Ramirez. It's like he's been through the war.
Now in boxing, as a cornerman, you would have that ability to stuff something inside it or you know, put some Vaseline or something. But here, the doctors do it, so it's a little different from boxing in that aspect too. We're not allowed to doctor up our fighters.
You're not allowed to put Vaseline on their faces or
like,
in their...
you know, if you watch a boxing match, you'll see the trainers rubbing stuff into the cuts to stop it or putting stuff into the nose to stop it from bleeding. Here, I think it's going to be the doctor's option, and whenever it's going to go to that case, they'll probably stop it.
Ah, I gotcha. That's got to be extremely disappointing for Tussing because they're not going to go to a scorecard, are they? I mean, it would just be awarded a win for Cameron Ramirez, whom is being dominated in the first 2 rounds.
Unfortunately, we'll see. Hopefully they'll give it one more try.
You see Joe Tussing looking down to our table talking to Ken Hahn, who, of course, is the master over at Striking Unlimited, and he looks disappointed. But, I mean, one other thing that he
looks like it's his finger that's ripped open, actually. I don't know.
He's got blood on his finger as well.
I think it's, like, shredded off.